Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Let's Talk Marketing with NDub Podcast, where I'm your host, Nathan Webster, and I'm excited to chop it up with you today. Today's diamonds I want to drop for 153 is pick my brain. Have you ever heard that saying, or you might have said that to someone, but I get folks to ask me, can I pick your brain? I'm like, sure, but you gotta pay the invoice. All right, hold on. Before I get too much into this episode, I want to say thank you to my first-time listeners rocking with me for the very first time, downloading wherever you heard it from. Please let me know. I hope you like the show. If you do, please hit subscribe. And if you really like it, please rate it and review and share with your loved ones or friends, family, colleagues, whoever. Go ahead and do that. For all my worldwide listeners that has been subscribed and rocking with me for the years upon years, I want to say thank you for being the bomb diggity diamonds that you are and keeping this show alive, because without you, I definitely, I almost couldn't say that word, would not be doing this. So thank you very much. All right. Pick my brain. So there's some things that I want to get into, because in this situation, I got to put on my glasses. I just don't like the light hitting my glasses like the way then this little line and everything. For those that are watching on YouTube, appreciate you subscribing on YouTube. For those that are doing that, I appreciate you. I see you. I see you. Thank you. Please continue to like, continue to comment. Please share, whatever the case may be. Also on Instagram, I see you on there. I appreciate you. If y'all haven't gone and checked out the social media platforms that I'm on, please check out the show notes on there. So I want to talk to you about a couple of things just real quick, because when I help folks in regards to create the necessary momentum to create the pipeline, the funnel needed to convert visitors, strangers, folks you don't know, but ideally your ideal customer avatar or your ideal customer to client. But we create a customer persona avatar to where that then becomes your client. So you start with the beginning if someone doesn't know you, and I talked about it before about in the funnel. We talked about in many ways of how you create someone's attention or getting their attention, creating that awareness to where at the end of the day or the end of going through all those touch points, they become a hopefully active clientele, customer, student, patient, maybe there's a couple more, but basically they pay for your services. So one of the first things I do when someone says, hey, can I pick your brain? I start with some of the 4 Ps, right? We talked about the 4 Ps before: product or service, place, or price, place, or promotion. And I go into more detail about that, but I don't know if you also have heard of the STP. Sure you have. I talked about it. So when I say, look, you need to segment, target, 3, position. We talked about that before. You have to use that specifically, just like with the 4 Ps. It's specific to your brand. It's specific to how you sell. Branding and selling are not the same. So when it comes to when folks say, I want to pick your brain, how can I do this? Like, one, I can't do a whole lot until I get some data on you. And then from the data, then I know how to come up with a strategy that works for you, specifically for you. Even within the same industry, everyone goes about it differently. It's always interesting on a side note to see how franchises within the same company, how they kill it and how they understand their customer persona, because that data, coming back to data, is important for you to understand, again, that whole I would say flow that needs to occur in order to make it happen. Or you can say style, you can say swag, however you want to go about it. But that flow of action that happens within the business that becomes their secret sauce to where they murder sales, maybe murder engagement, which brings me to the 4 E's. Have you heard of the E's? And I'm going to put on my glasses because here's where I write stuff down and I don't want to lose focus. And I'm trying to keep this short too. But you excite. The 4 E's are you excite, you educate, experience, and engage. Those are the 4 E's. The 7 C's are core goals, context, content, community, communication, coherence, and the connection. So when it comes to 4 P's, 4 E's, 7 C's, this becomes super important when you're talking to the different generations from Gen Z, which goes from like 2001, 2014, Gen Ys, millennials, that's me, 1977 to 2000. And sometimes I'm like, man, I get lumped into Gen X's, which I don't believe I should, but from 1965 to 1976. And then baby boomers are from 46 to 1964. So when it comes to the customer decision process, some folks say it's 5 steps, some say it's 7. But when you say, Nathan, can I pick your brain of this process, right? It's a process. And in that process, there's small little tasks, but there's a system to it that you need to create that flow, as I was saying before. And without that data to create that flow, your system's gonna take a hit. More than likely, you won't have a system because you might be doing a task that have a good process to it because you have multiple tasks to make that process, but it might not be connected to a larger system. And this is where your marketing strategy comes in at, because you do want it to make it potent, right? Potent to where you're getting results. I always say the goal of my sessions is to get you to create an ad. So you get the data, but 2, you figure out what works, because we want to figure out what doesn't work. For example, like a keyword. I had one client say, like, oh, I want to rank for this. I'm like, that's really expensive of a word, because let's say you want to spend $5 a day. Well, if that word costs $4.50, one click and you're out, so you want to choose a word that's not that expensive, rank for it. We can create the content marketing plan to where you can start ranking for those words that are similar and continue to move to that area of where it's a close enough, or it creates a similar search as a SERP. A SERP is a search engine's results page. It's what you see when you get down to the bottom of your search. Is like, hey, these are some other ideas to look for. At the end of that first page, more than likely, people will not go on to the second page, but they might click something that's similar because that first result page didn't give them what they were looking for. You want to be on that page, or you want to be basically when they hit enter or find something that, or they want to find something that looks what they're looking, they want to find something that they're looking for. You want to show up in that search engine result page. So when you say pick my brain, look, I'm more than happy to help you. But here, look, let me just tell you like this. You got to pay, okay? You can't scale off for free, and I'm more than happy to help. And I used to have to tell this, and it was a hard conversation at first, but I'm like, I can't just give my time out for free, but I am willing to give you a discount because I get it. You might say like, look, I've been bamboozled, I've been hooked, I've been swindled, I've been conned. There's a lot of different entities out there that say they do these things for you, and then they don't. And sometimes it might be like powerful diamonds that are being dropped. You just might not know how to implement it, especially per se around social media. There is and that's a whole nother conversation. Again, I don't want to make this too long. That's a whole nother podcast of making sure you have a good fit for those that are trying to do it in a way that makes the most sense for you. It's like they're a team. I mean, you're a team, and you got to find the right core players, core pieces for role players and star players, franchise players. Whole nother topic, but make sure it's a good fit. And so I'm giving you this opportunity. Go down into the show notes. There's a link for you to go ahead, schedule time with me, and then you can figure out, we can figure out, but I'm going to say you can figure out if you want to continue this on with me, or let me help you find someone to help guide your marketing process to where you get results so that you are not struggling with getting the customers that you want to work for. So if you have any questions, hit me up at info@nwebsterllc.com. Or if you just want to schedule some time with me, you got to pay the $50. Otherwise, the regular rate is a bit higher, but I'm not going to tell you that. because I want you to just focus on the $50 for the 30 minutes of our time. We can go through the customer journey, what I call marketing blueprint, to help you, guide you, so I can figure out what do you need and ask you some questions that you may already have the answers, you just haven't heard the question. But in this 30 minutes, we can nail down what are those things, or identify some of those things, or maybe you recall some of the things that you remembered that you needed to do but you haven't done it yet. What are those things? And maybe there's a new project that you want to start and don't know where to begin. Let me help you with that. Let me do what I can to take you to the next level. And I'll tell you, man, if I can't do it, I can't do it. I'll help you find someone else, because if you're also too big and doing a direct to consumer campaign, like, I only have so much bandwidth and capacity. Of course I'm growing, but if I can't help you now, I'll find someone who can. So if you have any questions, hit me up on the email, find me on social media, hit a DM, and we can get this party started. But if you already know what you need to do and you need to just lock that date in, go down to the show notes, get that link, and then let's move forward and make this happen. So until next time, I wish you nothing but the best. Make sure you rate, review, subscribe to the show so I can see you next time. So I wish you nothing but the best. So dream big and Godspeed.